All right. So I said I would come back and try to do one more update. That's what this is. This will be the last one. My wife already wants to hunker down. We're getting close. It's definitely here. I don't really know what all the tracks are for and what all the prognosis is and prognostication. Sorry, I keep trying my phone camera and it just doesn't work. But it feels like the wall is hitting us pretty hard. The top of the eye wall, which again is not as big of a storm surge, but the wind and the rain is bad here. So again, my internet could be bad, but I mean, it's windy, it's raining. We had our first major bummer of the hurricane here, which I'll tell you about in a second. But overall, we're fine. We're safe. Everybody's good. The kids are playing on iPads and playing all the technology they possibly can until the power goes out. And that's why we're doing this one last live before the power probably goes out. It's flickered a couple times. We're going to watch the 5 o'clock update together from JB. I haven't watched it yet. But I would say in the next 2 hours is probably going to be the worst of it for us. Yes, I've been watching Ryan Hall a bunch. And the other one that you guys sent me, Max, I've been watching both of them a ton. I haven't gotten the 5 o'clock update yet because we have 2 leaks in our house, which sucks. It is annoying, and the wind probably damaged the roof, and there is a ton of rain. We're definitely going to have a flooded yard. I don't think it's going to be like flood that gets into the house. It's not storm surge. It's nothing like that. It's really not that bad here. I mean, like you can see above me, it's windy and there's some rain. There's a lot of rain. But it's really not, I mean, we're okay. Like we're okay. There's going to be other spots that I think get hit much worse and much harder than we do. But I did so before the power's out, we got 2 things to do in this video. Actually, 3 things. Provide the update. We're all good. Thank you guys so much. I want to keep you as updated as possible. This feels like the best way to do it. So hit the like button if you're sitting there and you're watching. That's number 1. Number 2 is we're going to watch the 5 o'clock update with JB. And number 3 is I need your recommendations, but I'm going to tell you what it is after we watch some of the 5 o'clock update with JB. So let me pull that in. And I did have to pull in my AirPod this time because the wind is so loud that I couldn't hear it without it. So here we go.
Drive the surge in here. So it's just going to be really interesting to see what the National Hurricane Center does here at the 5 o'clock advisory, which looks like we're just getting in right now.
Yeah, it is. It is just dropping. And we'll.
So somebody said, yeah, Blism said it's nowhere near you yet. That's what I thought. Certainly looks from this graphic like it's near me. I'm right where it says St. Petersburg, right under Tampa. And I mean, this feels like the worst of it on the radar, right? It's orange, it's red, it's yellow. So we're going through it. Now, the one good thing that we're thankful for is that it's moving quickly. So hopefully it moves quickly and gets out of here and gets out of the state altogether. And we're going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Justin, do you have the ability to bring up the track? If not,
I have it graphically here. Okay, so we got 120.
Yep.
Intensity's come down a bit. There is the forecast track.
The track is basically going. The track
has been changed.
Yeah,
absolutely has been changed.
It's now going
adjusted north.
It has adjusted north through Anna Maria Island, and the southern tip of Pinellas County is in the red forecast cone. And it'll cycle back here in a second. There are the new spaghetti models showing where they're going to be going. But really,
it is a Cat 3 now, not a Cat 4. So you can only imagine what that's like, and it's definitely adjusted back north, which is towards me. So it's definitely hitting harder than it was originally supposed to. I mean, you can see it's moving. No doubt about it. It's moving. It's moving.
It's interesting. I remember saying on stream on Sunday night that Anna Maria Island was in a really bad spot, and now that we are in this final couple of hours before landfall, Anna Maria Island is looking like it's about to get an insane amount of surge, right? I mean, Anna Maria Island and the areas
south of it,
right south of it.
Yes, so that would be Longbow Key and St. Armand Circle, if you're familiar with the Sarasota area, Lido Beach, and even into downtown Sarasota. Sarasota proper, the downtown area sits on Sarasota Bay, which took a tremendous amount of storm surge with Helene.
Those barrier islands, I'm just shouting them out. Anne Marie Island, Bradenton Beach, Longboat Key, Lido Key Beach, down to Siesta Key, which of course makes up the Sarasota market. I'm sorry, Justin, continue. Just those are some areas that are about to get massive amounts of storm surge rushing in.
Yes, that is correct. As the storm moves in, right now those winds are offshore, keeping the worst of the surge off of the beaches of Manatee and Sarasota. And we looked at the camera out of Bradenton earlier, the Pier 22 camera, showing the wind flow, which is from the east, and that is helping to keep the surge from coming up and into the Manatee River and along the coastline. So as long as we see those winds blowing in the direction that we are looking at here live, JB, this is good for Sarasota, Bradenton for now, because the storm has not made landfall. We're just dealing with the eye wall or the core that is getting closer to those metro areas of Bradenton and Sarasota. However, things are going to go downhill over the next several hours as that core that we've been talking about here and on WFLA as well, and on WSNN TV, that is going to move ashore here across our southern portions of the area.
All right. We're about to reset for Facebook Live and introduce our new Facebook Live audience. Unless we already have. I'm waiting for our digital content team to let me know. Abundantly clear to me. I just checked for myself. Let's see. And I'm looking here. Okay, no, we are not live on Facebook. So let's deny would be
place should this storm wander or wobble a little further to the north, affecting Tampa Bay, because this station, WFLA, sits on the Hillsborough River. If that surge were to come in to the bay, it would back up into the Hillsborough River and put
It certainly looks like they think it's going to wobble back down east and south toward Sarasota and not toward Tampa. But I don't know, man. This thing keeps wobbling north. Feels like it's coming for us. So we'll see.
WFLA at risk of dealing with water in the building once again. So we have that backup location. The question becomes, does that scenario actually
we
play
have
out?
a new open for Facebook Live.
Live from our hurricane headquarters.
Yeah, it is a little weird that all the tornadoes are on the east side of Florida, especially because it's really sad and upsetting because so many people from here where I'm at, where there's a lot of wind and rain, evacuated down there, and now they're dealing with tornadoes, which frankly shows or seems like more scary to me. Lita, I'm in Pinellas County. I'm in Pinellas. That's where it says. So right, Clearwater is technically me. So if you see right now on the map, Clearwater is me between St. Pete and Tampa. So you see Clearwater. This is basically where I'm at right here. If you guys can see my mouse right under Clearwater. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Right here is where I am.
I'm doing this on Wobble Tracker, streaming live on
I'm not out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
WFLA.com/wobble tracker. And this is the critical hours for the storm as we get closer to a landfall event and determining whether or not the storm surge is going to be able to rush into Tampa Bay, or if the storm surge is going to be exclusive to areas such as Anna Maria Island and south all the way through the Sarasota beaches.
That's correct. The wobble tracker tracking the eye of the storm and the eye wall, which is the worst portion of the storm. You can clearly see with the radar echoes, this is what we call reflectivity, highlighting the strongest portion of the storm here, the oranges, the reds on the northeast side, and that's relative to the heading of the storm. And again, the 5 o'clock advisory now in, and I'm just looking at that data as we are kind of pouring over it as it is coming into our weather center here. And the wind speeds have come down a bit. It is a Category 3 storm. And as we look at the information that is...
That says Cat 4. I just want to be clear with our audience. It does say a 4 there on the symbol, but it is a 3, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, the cone has moved north.
The cone has moved north. The line has moved north into Manatee.
And you can clearly see just from when we did last time, it was just over the tip, like almost underneath the word St. Petersburg. And now it's all the way up covering St. Petersburg and going to hit the Tampa Peninsula. And it's not good. Reese's mom said the wind didn't seem as bad earlier. Definitely not. Nowhere near what it is now. You guys can see behind me. Yeah, it's much worse now than it was earlier. But we'll deal with it. It is what it is. We're here dealing with a couple leaks, but we got buckets down. We got towels down. We'll have to check it. My wife said she does not want to go back over there and check it. So I will go back over there later and have to check it. Rebecca said, ask Peter who's winning fantasy. So Rebecca is in first place. It's a long season, Rebecca. It's a long season.
Manatee County, it was over Sarasota. And in between Sarasota proper and Bradenton, that's about a 15-mile difference. So everything has been shifted to the north in response to the trend that we have been watching with our Max Defender 8 radar has been a little further to the north. The concern, will that trend keep up and get this storm at a latitude where that water will rush into Tampa Bay out of the southwest? That is still not out of the realm of possibility. So everybody should continue to shelter in place. We're really starting to get into the heart of this storm right now, JB. At last report, The storm is under, let's see, yeah, under 100 miles, 60 miles southwest of Sarasota right now. So that means the core, those strong winds that we've been showing you with our Max Defender radar, is going to be working its way onshore. And that's what we're fearful of for damage from the wind, in addition to the storm surge at the point of landfall in areas to the south.
So
So yeah, as he said it, and this is like, they're like 20 minutes behind us. They're saying we're getting to the heart of the storm. We're getting really close to the heart of the storm. It's going to be, within the hour, I'd say.
here's the thing. As I've been paying attention to all of our talented meteorologists, Justin included, again, Justin coming up here from Sarasota, the chief meteorologist at WSNN, our sister, we're getting a lot of lightning in that area as well.
Yeah, a lot of updrafts around the eye wall, and that
So that's basically where it is now. And as you can see, I'm about right here between St. Pete and Tampa, about right here. I mean, we're right within it. This is the worst of the worst, the red here. And they expect that to go a little bit to the right, a little bit to the east. But I mean, we're about to get hit by the hardest part of it. This is 5:15, it's 5:37. So we're seeing where it's at.
that really speaks to the intensity of the eye wall itself. In general, you don't see a whole lot of lightning with a hurricane. A lot of the energy is kind of dispersed or displaced throughout the entirety of the storm, so you don't have a whole lot of updrafts to kind of get those charge separations. So when we do see it, it jumps out at us, that's for sure. And we are watching that eye wall approaching the coast. I was just looking at the report from the Hurricane Center, and the hurricane force winds, that's winds of 74 miles per hour or greater, extend 35 miles out from the storm center. That's the eye that you see rotating around. We've measured that eye here in the Max Defender 8 Weather Center to be about 60 miles in diameter. The tropical storm force winds extend out 255 miles from the center point of the storm. So
we're getting those, right? Because we're within 250 miles already, but I think he said 30 miles for the worst of it. So we'll see if that worst part comes to us. Cody said, I finally caught you live. I'm a heavy haul OTR truck driver, so I never get to catch you live, but I listen to all your videos while I drive. Stay safe, and we'll be here to help in the aftermath. Cody, thank you, my man. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Thanks for being on. This is not normal time, not normal conditions that we go live in. Also, Brian Enton just broke some legal news in cases that a lot of you follow. Brian Koberger, his trial is set. The new trial date is August 11th through November 7th of 2025, not during summer, not while school is out. Will that matter in Ada County like it may have mattered in Latah County? We'll see when we get there. The big thing is jury selection, but also he's giving the defense all the time they need to be as prepared as they need to be for Brian Koberger's trial to start on time. So we'll be following up and talking about that in the near future.
Much of the area right now dealing with tropical storm force wind gusts, that's 40 miles per hour up to about 74, with the core of those hurricane force winds still offshore, still waiting to come ashore of Bradenton, Anna Maria Island, Longboat Key, Sarasota, and up into Pinellas and Hillsborough County. So we still have a long way to go. I know weather conditions are rough out there right now, but just stay with us. We're continuing to broadcast here as well as on WFLA and giving you the latest information as everybody hunkers down. But again, it's going to be critical, baby, where the storm makes landfall. The National Hurricane Center, with the latest update as of 5 o'clock, adjusting the track a little further to the north throughout Manatee counties. That window of possible movement or the forecast cone does include Hillsborough and Pinellas. So that's something we're going to be watching very closely over the next several hours.
And just to gauge, so you guys can gauge what the wind, there's these little puny, I can't tell which way I need to move my head. These little puny palm trees behind me, I mean, they're not even bending over. So, I mean, it's definitely windy, but it's not like nothing's going down right now. It's going to move up. It's going to move up in the next hour or two. This is why this will be our last update live, maybe until after the hurricane, hopefully.
With our wobble tracker.
There it is. And as we look here at wobble tracker, it does not appear, barring a massive wobble north, which is per the cone absolutely still possible, but barring a massive, push north, the surge, that counterclockwise motion, will not lead to worst case scenario impacts for Tampa Bay.
It would be very difficult to do that.
Yeah, at this stage, this late.
Yes, because of the circulation that you mentioned. So even if the storm kind of wanders over the bay, what has happened, you have to change the wind direction around to the south and west to push water up into the bay. In order for that to happen, the storm center needs to be either to your west or to your north. And it's going to be difficult for it to gain that type of latitude. So we'll be monitoring it.
All right, while we watch the next few minutes, this is the question I have for you all. What games do you recommend to play with no power? So the two main categories are board games and card games. So let me know, because I'm almost positive we're going to lose power. We might lose it in the middle of this live. If we do, I'll have Kelsey or John just throw a note in the chat and end the stream. But I appreciate all you guys coming and joining me. I'm going to continue to watch this update. I want to read what games you have. I'll let you know what games. Obviously, Rummy. We played a game called Hand and Foot. We play a game we call Swoop Up the River. Oh, gross. There's a earthworm literally crawling up My leg. Oh, that was disgusting. Okay, so let me know the board games while we watch this update.
It over the next several hours. And again, that cone that you don't see on the screen here does include Hillsborough and Pinellas counties. But even if it did jog a little further to the north, I think that surge would still be southern portions of Pinellas County into northern Manatee County, where we'll be able to monitor it minute by minute with that camera in Bradenton there overlooking the Manatee River.
All right, so quick programming note. We were talking about this a little bit earlier on. I can confidently look into the camera and say that the stream center is going to be staying online for as long as possible. Basically, what I'm saying is that we are not going to be going to the Wesley Chapel backup location that WFLA has set up unless we lose power, unless we have a drastic change of events. So somewhere out there on X or on Twitter, someone's got that Leonardo DiCaprio, GIF. I'm not leaving.
So BS is a great one. I got to remember the rules because I used to play this when I was a kid at like summer camp. So if you have the rules, throw the rules in the chat, Lux. I love that game. I want to teach it to my kids and my wife and play that. We call it BS, of course, kid friendly. It's a family show.
Yeah, we're not leaving. We're staying here with you on the stream across all platforms. So we can confidently look into the camera now and say that. And we are in this for the
Kings in the corner. I don't know what that is. Sounds fun. Let me know what Kings in the corner is. Oh, I love euchre. Love euchre.
long haul.
Yes.
We lose power. Things change. We might try to get out. But right now, lights are on in the stream center.
We're
Microphone
working hard.
Microphone's working.
Yes.
We're staying.
And we're very thankful to all of our viewers that are watching us. It does mean a lot to know that people are depending upon you, and it keeps us going, that's for sure. And we
Phase 10 is a must. Poker is a must. Cards Against Humanity, not with the kids. Uno, Monopoly, Clue, Yahtzee for sure. We have Yahtzee over here already. That's locked in.
want to take a second to thank everybody for joining us here as we watch this major hurricane here. Time now is at 5:25, and it is closing in.
And I got something stuck in my throat here for a second.
Okay, I'll try to take it away
for 1
for you.
second,
Let's see if I
Justin.
can read this.
Through these as quickly as can be to get through as many submissions. These are photos and videos coming into our website, wfla.com/report it. Please send them in safely and responsibly. Do not put yourself in harm's way to send in a photo or a video to capture something on your phone. It is just not worth it. This is Nick in St. Petersburg. Next up, we have Judy sending this in from Lakeland, Florida. Cindy Lane showing flooding in or near her property. We've got Mo sending this in from St. Pete, Florida. Here we have Kyle, Plant City. Next up, we have James in Jensen Beach.
It's Martin County on the East Coast, and man, look at that sky there.
Yeah, no rainfall yet, but that's going to change. Nick in Palm Harbor. Things really whipping in Palm Harbor as of 4:50 p.m.
So, Ashley, both of our buildings actually are like evacuation centers. If we ever needed really to go there, they're both in like the best spots. No flood zone, no evacuation zone, nothing like that. So if we had to go there, yeah, they should be fine. And again, we can rebuild and fix anything that happens there. Telestrations. It's like old school game of telephone, but drawing. It's hilarious. I'll have to Google how to play that. Mike, please take the super chat, use it towards Pro V1 golf ball. So when it's all over, you can play golf again, thinking happy thoughts. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not great for the golf courses around here, but thank you, Mike. They'll get rebuilt too, and we'll do it. Multiplayer version of Solitaire. We have done that before, and my daughter loves Solitaire. Rebecca, God bless you and your family. Peter, chat is getting mean. Getting mean. I'm out. Remember praying for you. God bless you and your family. Peter, chat is getting mean. Huh. I don't know what's happening in the chat. I'll have to check it out. I'm watching this update mostly with you guys. So we'll keep watching. Please don't play hide and seek. We will not be playing hide and seek. Domino gameplay Mexican Train. Called Mexican Train. I have to look that one up. I don't know that one at all. Did this affect trials for you? Somebody said, where is it? Chat's flying here. No, it hasn't affected any trials yet, but I'm one that is really legitimately supposed to go in 3 or 4 weeks. So hopefully it does not affect that one. That's the only one it could affect.
Next up, Paul, Lutz, Florida.
Come up here to Tampa. We're all a Nexstar family, which is critical in moments like this, and we all work together. And I have to thank our parent company, Nexstar, as well as WFLA, for allowing us to get that message out to our viewers in Manatee, Sarasota, down in Charlotte and DeSoto counties, is this storm is impacting the entire region. We're all caught in this together, and we won't leave you as this storm continues to move into the Tampa Bay area. And it's going to be a rough go of it, JB. I'd like to stress to folks that maybe have never experienced a hurricane. Here we are getting closer to nightfall, and the core of the storm is going to be moving in. It is going to be a scary event. There's going to be a lot of rattling of the windows. A lot of folks have storm shutters up or plywood to protect themselves from the strong winds. It's going to be a rough night, but we're in this together, and we're going to stay here and continue to broadcast and stream the information to you as we're all in this together as the storm kind of travels inland across the state.
So that's a 5:30 update now, so we're only a few minutes behind. Azam said you play chess. Yes, I do play chess. Be safe, Peter. That wind. Yeah, it's pretty windy, but it's not, I mean, it's about what I expected so far, I'll say. Pede Psych, RN, have the kids make up a new game. Oh, they love that. They'll love that. It'll have a lot of rules, I'll tell you that.
Event canceled. Tornado watch, Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County. The watch is canceled, meaning that things are beginning to clear up there from a tornado perspective, which is encouraging news that from Southwest Florida, from that region, things are beginning to improve. Probably not completely out of it just yet, but
yes, it's heading in that direction. If you split up a hurricane, many times you may have heard us talk about the different quadrants. So the northeast quadrant or right front quadrant is the strongest portion of the storm. It also is the portion of the storm that contains the most tornadic activity. A few hours ago, that area you just mentioned was going through it with tornado warning after tornado warning because they were positioned in that northeast quadrant. The storm is moving along as scheduled. Motion northeast at 17 at last report, and it's seen some dry air intrusion on the south side. That's
not a meteorologist. I just play one on YouTube.
why I don't see those radar echoes with our reflexivity as much on the southern side. It also goes to show you those quadrants are working out the way they should. The southeast and southern and southwest quadrant just not conducive for tornadic development as much. So we're not seeing the type of tornado warnings, and now the Storm Prediction Center allowing that watch, meaning the conditions are favorable to expire in those southern areas. But they'll maintain it for the Tampa Bay area, inland to Polk County, and throughout Central Florida, Orlando, Daytona Beach, and the Space Coast.
At this point, you know, there are a couple things that make me nervous. You know what makes me nervous? Construction cranes. They make me nervous. This one coming into WFLA.com/report it. If you're going to send in photos and videos, do so safely, responsibly. Do not put yourself in harm's way. Brian says this comes from Topgolf in St. Pete. And
that's wild. Like, yeah, I'd be scared if I was near that. T, we don't have shutters. Well, we have shutters on this house, but not on the main house. But we do have like hurricane windows everywhere, double pane, everything like that. So as good as we can be, listen, you can't stop everything, but you can be as prepared as you can possibly be.
And I swear it's
eerie.
It's eerie, and it gives me that tingly feeling down my spine. And you hope that one of these don't come down in hurricane or tropical storm force.
The idea with this, JB, they unhinge those cranes like that so that they can spin around in the wind and create less resistance. If it's locked down, there's a higher probability of it tumbling down. But watching it, that's a different thing.
It doesn't give me that good
warm,
feeling,
cozy, safe, secure feeling. That's for sure.
Not at all. Moving on WFLA.com/report it. Let's get to some of the photos, videos coming in. This is from Kathy, and it doesn't have a location. You're going to send in photos and videos, you guys, please let us know where it is. That's like one of the most important things. You can be as specific as possible. Timestamps and locations are really big, but for what it's worth, this is Kathy's backyard, and it's
filling up with water.
Underwater, no doubt. All right, this is a big down tree from Juan in Sefner.
Okay, so this is going to be a big concern. Let's hang on this for a second.
It's on a power line.
Yes, that's where I'm headed with this. So we have a lot of saturated ground across the entire Bay Area. This has been an extremely wet summer, as we know. And we've had storm after storm. Now this one is moving in. The ground is saturated. And you have these very old oak trees and other trees where you get a quick wind gust to come through over saturated ground. And we're starting to see these trees fall inside these intense rain bands that you're seeing on our Max Defender 8 Doppler radar. So at this point, power outages are going to become a big concern across that swath of Manatee, Sarasota, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and into Polk County. So it's important to spread the word about what we're doing here in the digital center. To have your devices charged up so you can continue to get the information and see exactly what is going on. Because I tell you, I've been through many a storm in my life here in Florida. Native Floridian, grew up in Vero Beach, seen my fair share. If you're in the dark, you don't have power, and you don't hear or see the information, it is extremely frightening. So we are going to be here and continue to broadcast and stream to get you through this storm. We will not leave you. And it's important to note to charge up your devices right now while you still have power, because we are starting to see those trees go down, which will quickly cause power to go out across a good portion of the Bay Area.
Getting in one last charge on my phone. A reminder. Yeah, you got a charger over there? You got something?
I do, actually. I will go ahead and do that.
There's a you got
Thank you, Chris, and to everybody sending me the rules of these games. That's going to be very helpful. Very helpful.
Hour over there. Feel free to use it.
You got a great setup here, by the way. This is really cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Justin joining us here, everybody. Chief Meteorologist WSNN coming up north from Sarasota to Tampa. I hope your station's okay, and I hope that everything, your home, family if they're in the area. Everybody, I hope everyone's okay.
Yes, we're all in this together.
Ninny, yes, we've had plenty of fights over Monopoly. We're all savages, but we have Cheaters Monopoly, which is like a different version of it. It's hilarious. You can like try to cheat, like steal money or steal somebody's hotel or slide it over to yours. And if they don't notice, you get a bonus. It's wild. And we play that a lot. Dorothy, no, not a compound. We're not all near each other. Or we're not all on the same property, but my sister is like 2 minutes away. My parents are 15 minutes. My other sister's 15 minutes. So we're all really close.
Together. I like to stress that as well. We're one big family, you know, across the Tampa Bay area in moments like this, because we're broadcasting to you. We're in a safe location, but I was putting up storm shutters and sandbagging my home down in Sarasota 24 hours ago. So I know what it's like. It's stressful. I like to tell people to also take a breather. Hopefully at this point in time, everybody is just kind of hunkered down and the work is behind you and we're just going to ride the storm out. But it can be very mentally taxing, and your mental health is extremely important in moments like this. So let's just take a minute, you know, take a breather. We're all in this together. We're going to get through it together as well. I know. Very
Got
good.
this,
There's that
folks.
Zen, JB.
Zen,
Yes.
moment of Zen. I
Yes.
encourage everybody out there. I'm not even kidding. Just take a moment. Take an
So true.
enormous inhale.
Yes.
You'll feel better, I promise. Back here with you in the stream center. The yoga center is going to be the nickname eventually if we continue to do breathing exercises. Let's get back to the coverage at hand. As we look here at Next Fender 8 Radar, I want
Yes.
to point out something that is astute observation from Justin. We are getting into real power outage territory. And I want to mention, we didn't lose power here until hours after Helene was well north of Tampa Bay. Helene was up in the, you know, basically east of Tallahassee in the Big Bend when we lost power. So the storm moving inland will cause rolling power outages, of course. But if the storm enters the greater Orlando area and you think, oh, we made it, we didn't lose power, do not relax yet. Power.
So here's what else I'll say. As far as this video, there's 8 minutes till the 6 o'clock update. So I'll stay on. We'll watch the 6 o'clock update together. Then I will bounce for the last time as far as live videos go, pre or during Hurricane Milton. So we're going to stick on for about 7 or probably 10 more minutes. So I appreciate you guys. You have any more games or questions? If anything's happening in the legal world, let me know. If you have any questions about any cases we're following, go ahead and throw them in there. I'll burn through some questions as we wait for the 6 o'clock update. You guys are the best. Thank you for being here with me. Last little bit of technology before we probably go into a blackout for a while, but we're ready for it. And we're gonna enjoy the family time together and deal with the leaks and the wind and anything that happen and any damage that happens afterwards. It's gonna suck. I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not excited about it. But be prepared. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Power outages can occur even in the aftermath of a storm.
There's a backside of the storm.
That's
a
right.
lot of it you may not see on our radar because of some dry air, but the winds will remain elevated for tonight. It will be gusty all night long. We're on the forward side, which is the strongest portion of the storm that is moving into the Bay Area right now as we speak. And this is the evidence of it as JB pulls this back up as we work the storm together. Look at this old tree that is just on top of the power lines. It's also over a roadway, which obstructs a vehicle to try to get into to fix that power line. So this is a process that's going to be playing out all across the Tampa Bay area and across Central Florida, southward along the Suncoast as well. This is from Lutz, right?
Lutz, Heather sending this in WFL.com/reported saying rain coming in across the lake. So this is not all water that has pooled as a result of Milton. This is all water that was, look, this is a lake is what you're looking at is what I'm trying to say.
Correct.
Next up, thank you, Heather, for sending that in. Next up, we have
intense rain in Lithia, Florida.
This is from Preeti, Lithia, 5:15 p.m.
Neighbors' yard filled up with water. Intense.
Next up, thank you, Preeti. Kelsey showing flooding on Strema Road, Largo, Florida, downtown Largo to be more precise. Thank you for being specific. Really do appreciate it, Kelsey. Also coming in right now, Kevin from Vero Beach. Oh yeah, the waters are rising and are going to start to take cars.
That's my hometown.
Down. Yeah.
Vero Beach, East Coast, that is known as a treasure coast over there. And they've been dealing with band after band. I've seen tornado warning after tornado warning earlier today along the treasure coast. And that water is just incredible. And again, you don't want to venture into water of unknown depth. Turn around, don't drown. That's a National Weather Service message to everyone. And this is a scene that you're going to see across a good portion of the state of Florida as Milton cuts across and heads towards the East Coast tonight.
All right. Thank you to Kevin for sending this one in from Vero Beach. Moving on. I want to point out there have been people.
Why is it so hard to get your head out of the way of a camera? Here, let me just do this. There we go. So there was just like a band going through. That was some serious gusts of wind and rain, but then it's kind of back to just a normal rain. So that keeps happening as well, except I just couldn't figure out how to get my head out of the camera.
People that have been tagging me in videos on Twitter, I can only use it if it's been sent into WFLA.com/reported. It also has to be a video that you took if you screenshot or screen capture, it will not work. It's got to be your video that was shared to you. You have the, of course, you have the rights to be able to basically send it to us and share it with us. So, screen recording off of Twitter or X. Yes, what you got? Yes, thank you. All right, so that note passed along by our executive producer Nathaniel saying that the conditions, if Jeff Patterson says conditions are deteriorating, he's not as dramatic as I am.
It carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, it means a lot coming from him. So Jeff apparently says that they are in the thick of it right now, and our team is trying to load him up as a shot. So
and that's understandable, judging by what we see with the max defender rate radar. The downtown Tampa is really going through an intense band right now, and it's going to continue to progress to the north, and it is also affecting Pinellas County. This is one of the biggest and strongest bands that we've seen. Another shot. This is of a tornado in Royal Palm Beach.
Look at the resolution on this video.
Wow.
I'm going full screen with this so people can see it better. You can see rotation.
Holy cow,
Look at that.
Crazy.
This is Anthony in Royal Palm
That's the
Beach.
scariest stuff right there, in my
West
opinion.
Palm Beach, to be familiar with that area. But yeah, well-defined tornado. This is almost textbook. You can see the wall cloud, which is that dark area that's kind of hanging. And then you have the actual funnel, what we call the condensation funnel, rotating around. You can see the winds feeding into the storm as well. Now, tropical tornadoes are typically brief. They're usually weak, EF0, as we say, and they're short-lived. As quickly as they develop, they can just kind of dissipate, which makes it very difficult to hop on TV and warn everyone. That's why the tornado watch that we're under is very critical in a moment like this. It's conditional or situational awareness that everybody should be in, because this can briefly happen just about anywhere within the tornado watch area. But my goodness, incredible shot from Royal Palm Beach.
Yeah, and this, if I have that correct, that's near Palm Beach.
That is correct. It's
So
just to the
that's a far
west. Yes,
way away
it's
from
on the
here.
east coast of the state of Florida, in South Florida there. And it just shows you the breadth and depth of the storm and the far-reaching effects as Milton continues to expand its grips and wind field across the state of Florida. But that is really impressive. We saw these types of these images, I should say, in portions of Lake Okeechobee area near, I believe it was Clewiston. I saw a warning in Glades and Hendry County. So yeah, crazy stuff earlier today.
All right, more submissions coming in, photos and videos to doublegiftly.com/reported. Please send in your photos from a safe location, because we are always engaging a new digital audience. This is Cynthia.
We're about 2 minutes away from a 6 o'clock update. In case anybody doesn't know, Florida, Palm Beach is hours away on the other coast. There haven't been a lot of tornadoes in our area, but there have been a lot all over the state. John said, how's that French drain you installed holding up? So I didn't install it, thank God, or it wouldn't be working at all. I got to go look. It doesn't look good. It looks rather tall over there as far as the water goes, and I'll have to sneak over there and check without anybody noticing, because it looks like it's getting up to almost as high as our air conditioner is, and that would be bad, but it is what it is, and we'll deal with whatever we got to deal with. Reese's mom, are the kids frightened at all? No, they're pretty much just enjoying their iPads right now with unfettered access to it, but we'll shield them from as much of it as we possibly can and keep a positive attitude throughout, and we'll deal with the carnage afterwards. Nothing we can do about it now, right? Worrying about it more now is not going to make it easier later. Peter, if a party asks a question, the other side objects, and before the judge makes a ruling, they withdraw the question. Can the jury use the information, use any answer from the witness? No. If a question is withdrawn, there's no question pending, so the witness should not answer. If the witness does answer, the other side needs to say, Judge, we need to strike that question, or that answer, because they withdrew the question, and there wasn't a question pending. Hold on one second here. All right. Floridians are really stressed right now. Show them grace if they say something you dislike. Yeah, everybody is really stressed. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's anxious. I totally understand it. Let's just remember, give a little grace, right? Give a little grace. And everybody has really strong opinions about what other people should do, and I understand that. Everybody's got to make their own decision as adults. Yes, Jay, we have tons of wireless chargers, portable chargers, all that stuff. Yes, locked and loaded.
Yeah, so that's what it sounds like to be in a storm of this magnitude. And these are just wind gusts, but you can see the water racing across the parking lot. Significant impacts there with the real-time wobble tracker. And look at the 5, 30, 40, and 50 scans, the eye wall expanding and expanding in an eastward direction. And
towards
Again.
Sarasota, towards Bradenton. They are in the eye wall now, and I feel confident to say that. And that is, unfortunately, some of the strongest portion of the storm. So again, Bradenton, Sarasota, Longboat Key, Anna Maria Island, Lakewood Ranch, Parrish, Duet. Those are the areas. Siesta Key, going through some of the worst of the storm right now. And there is the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, which brings the center of this storm through portions of Hillsborough County and north and east of Polk County. So if you're watching us in Lakeland, Bartow, Winter Haven, this is headed in your direction. We're going to stay with you throughout the duration. This is not just a coastal event. Now, we will watch the water level rise occurring before too long around Bradenton down into Sarasota. Judging by the radar echoes that I can see right now, they still have an offshore wind. Once those winds come around to the west or south west, that's when we'll see the storm surge that we're so concerned about.
So last I heard, it was traveling at like 16 or 17 miles an hour. The winds are like 125 miles an hour. That's the last I heard, John. Manley said, can lawyers continue to submit motions during Sarah Boone's delay? Yes. They can continue working. They can continue submitting stuff. The court won't get any of it. If it was me, I would wait till after the hurricane and then submit it, because that's when the courts are going to get it anyways. And they can still do stuff all week, right? So Friday, if courts open back up, a flood of motions could come in before Monday's jury selection. And I also think because of the shortened timeline, that they may be handling motions and issues throughout the week of jury selection if it takes a week. Also, depending on how bad it is in Orlando, right? Because you can watch this too if you're a Sarah Boone trial follower. If people are displaced and people can't show up for jury selection and jury duty, it could absolutely cause a delay in the trial. Just because they pushed it till October 14th does not mean that's when it's actually going to start.
Once again, I might add, for those places I just mentioned, like Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key, Siesta Key, Casey Key, and down to about Venice. So again, that's really the focus in our viewing area right now. We have extremely heavy squalls moving through downtown St. Petersburg with the wind directly off of the bay. It's unrestricted over Tampa Bay, moving into St. Pete, all the way out towards St. Pete Beach, including downtown Tampa. Now, we were, I believe, JB, trying to effort Jeff Patterson's shot, and I think we're still working on that. He's
Jeff, I know you can hear us. We don't have your shot up at the moment. I'm getting our team to work on it because I know you're in the thick of it right now. We're trying to come your way.
Cause a storm go Hernando and up into Citrus counties. We've got a heavy band moving through Pasco County. So from the Suncoast Parkway inland towards Zephyr Hills, Dade City, or towards Spring Hill, Argna Sea. But again, the tropical storm force winds do extend inland. So if you're watching us in Sebring and Lake Placid, northward towards Lakeland.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a meteorologist, but the orange and red as heavy as possible, like it seems like that's what's happening right now. That's what it seems like is happening to us right now. It wasn't supposed to happen until 2 a.m. on Thursday. Then they moved it back up to about 8 p.m. tonight. It seems like the worst is here. And then this really bad band is supposed to turn right at Bradenton, Sarasota before it gets to Tampa, St. Pete. So I don't really know. This could be the worst, or the worst could be happening in about 2 hours.
Winter Haven, also around Bartow. Again, turbulent conditions, but the worst weather is coastal sections of Pinellas, spreading into Hillsborough, but by far the worst right now for our viewers in Manatee and Sarasota County. Very concerned because they are moving into that eye wall, as I mentioned, the strongest portion of the storm right now.
Yeah, and the surge is going to be the theme going forward at this point.
Exactly.
Again, here with Justin, JB here with you, Jeff. We're trying to get. I think we now have Jeff Patterson. No, we don't. I thought I saw a shot on that source. I don't have it. Jeff, we're trying to find a home for your shot. Stand by. Trying to come your way as quickly as possible. Oh, no, wait. There he is. I got you, Jeff. We're loading you up. You're on. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, good evening, JB. Well, as you guys have been talking about, the conditions here are kind of deteriorating. Right now, we're on East Davis Boulevard, and I want you to take a look at this. The water is coming up, I'd say about a foot. And this is just from the intense rainfall that we've been having here in Tampa over the last several hours. This is not storm surge. I want to make that clear. Thankfully, we're not seeing it get into homes.
And again, the rainfall is annoying, and it could cause leaks, and it could cause flooding, but it's nowhere near as bad as a storm surge. That's what they've all been saying. That's what they've been telling us to look for and keep an eye out for. And the rain is very annoying here, and it's piling up, and it's stacking up, and the yard's going to be flooded and stuff. Maybe some will get in the house. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's very different than storm surge.
As it did during Hurricane Helene, because the water has not risen to that level yet. But if you'll look behind me, just down Davis Boulevard, you can still see the damage, the debris from people hauling the things out of their homes.
That's the most unbelievable to me, is that all that debris is still out there from 2 weeks ago and hasn't been picked up by the county or the city or the state. Like, that's unbelievable. And I expect people, if a chair goes through your window or your door, I expect, lawsuits against the county and against the city like that. How was that? The dumps were closed and locked. They wouldn't let us dump stuff for days. It's crazy. It's crazy. Reed Timmer says eye wall will hit in a bit over an hour. Okay. Ugh. So we'll be ready here. Yeah, right around 8 o'clock probably. Julie, YSL question. Judge sustained, asked and answered from a question asked in April. That was crazy to me. It's a long time for the jury to remember. And This wasn't even the judge in April, right? That's wild. That's just one of the many reasons that case is incredibly different than every other case. So they ran out of sandbags, so we got mulch bags, and we're doing our best with those. But we'll see. The people who probably needed the sandbags are the people down on the beach with the storm surges, so they needed them more than we did.
They're still on the side of the street. And unfortunately now, if you look in the middle of East Davis Boulevard, some of that debris is starting to blow out into the street or even just to float out into the street because of the flooding that we are experiencing here. So I'm in front of Fire Station 17. Even the Tampa Fire Station suffered damage from Hurricane Helene. There is no one in here right now. No fire rescue.
Whitney's cracked the wine bottle, it looks like. So things will be chill by the time I get inside.
Units, no vehicles, no personnel because of the damage they suffered during Hurricane Helene. As you might be able to tell, the rain is coming down harder where we are right now. We saw some heavy bands of wind a short time ago, but we're now starting to see what Hurricane Milton is bringing to this area, and we fully understand that the worst part of this will probably be south of here. With the eye wall coming in over Sarasota, certainly they'll see more storm surge, but this is one of the things we've been keeping an eye out for all day long is where's the storm surge? How high is the water going to get here? Right now on East Davis Boulevard, this is just from the rain. And you can tell the ground is saturated here. It's been raining for hours. We've seen the wind ripping through some of the top of trees, just some minor limb damage right now, nothing major. We haven't seen any trees topple that weren't toppled during Hurricane Helene. So we're keeping an eye on all of that too. But JB, you can tell it's not exactly a picnic out here on Davis Islands right now. The one thing I will be thankful for is that it seems that there's still power on the island and we're not seeing any people out here because people seem to have heeded the warnings and evacuated as it has been appropriate to do.
Jeff, this is Justin Mosley once again here with you. And question for you. You covered Helene. You're covering the storm Milton now. As far as timing is concerned, when you started covering Helene, did you see the same amount of water on the ground as you're seeing now with Milton or vice versa? Is this more of what you're seeing this early in the game, or would you say it's a little less?
Well, I was in Cedar Key, Justin, when Hurricane Helene.
It's really wild to me that 10,000 people come here and hang out during a hurricane. On the last video we did and on this video, that's insane. Hit the like button if you guys haven't. Let's get 10,000 likes plus on this. Somebody asked what kind of wine Whitney likes. I don't know, all kinds, I would say. And then somebody asked what's for supper. So Whitney already has a crock pot going while we have power, and she's made a crock pot meal that we're going to eat for dinner. I think the kids have already eaten a lot of it. Maverick's already gotten into the hurricane snacks.
Brushed by. Keep in mind that storm, as you know, was 100 miles offshore. It went in just north of Cedar Key into Perry, and so we saw some of the worst winds there. I would say winds where I was standing in excess of 100 miles an hour. Not seeing anything like that here. As you know,
so people are asking where I'm located. If the map shows Clearwater, that's me. If it shows Tampa and St. Petersburg, I'm right between those two cities.
Each one of these hurricanes, each one of these storms has kind of a different personality, a different manifestation. And so this one right now seems to be a rain event where we are here. South in Sarasota, when the eye wall comes on shore, could be something entirely different. As you know, this storm has been very compact, the most intense winds around the center. I would compare it somewhat to Hurricane Charlie, although Charlie had different characteristics as well. But Hurricane Charlie was a very tight, very compact, very powerful hurricane. And that seems to be what Milton is. But, you know, as we've seen the eye wall we've seen the eye wall exchange and things dissipate for a time, it's all a matter of timing as to when this storm makes landfall. I understand now it has been downgraded to a Category 3, still a very powerful and intense hurricane. But there was a time today when we were seeing it as a Category 5, a very strong Category 5. There was a lot of anxiety here in Tampa for where would the storm come on shore? Where would the storm surge be? So far, what we have seen out on the Bayshore is that the water is being drawn out, not pushed in. And so, you know, Tampa, once again, so far has fared very, very well. That isn't to say that there aren't people outside right now in the city of Tampa that are probably experiencing some great difficulty because of this storm. But when you talk about catastrophic wind damage from a Category 4 or Category 5, we haven't seen that in Tampa yet. Of course, as the evening progresses and we're able to get down into Sarasota later tonight or tomorrow, we may see that kind of intense catastrophic damage. Right now in Tampa, we're not seeing that.
So the winds so far, Jeff, that you're seeing out there doesn't look to be entirely too windy. You're in a squall, as we can see with the heavy amounts of rain. But as far as wind is concerned today, is this the strongest you've seen this afternoon into the evening?
I would say within about the last hour or so, the winds have picked up to about the strongest we have seen so far. Again, not the intense, powerful hurricane that we know Milton can be. So we're kind of on the outer edge here in Tampa. You know, you hate to say best case or worst case scenario, because while it may be good for people in Tampa, it's not good for people in Sarasota. We fully understand that. You know,
I honestly think YouTube has completely changed the game, period, across like everything, all news discussions. You got JB has a huge chat right now, Ryan Hall, Max Velocity. You see when we talk about trials and stuff, comparing to the lawyers that are covering it and talking about it versus like mainstream media. It's interesting. It's direct to the people. Take out all the middlemen, take out all the people that, you know, you have to bend a knee to. Get directly with the audience, talk to the audience, chat with the audience, give them what they want, be able to completely tailor a YouTube video to what the audience wants to listen to and how they want to listen to it is amazing to me. I think it's really cool what Ryan Hall and a lot of people are doing on YouTube. We are staying safe, Vicky. Thank you so much.
You know, I've talked.
P.S. Like, there's like almost no wind coming in this porch area, which is cool. Like how they build stuff, you know, in Florida.
Of my friends, there's almost, you know, this guilt feeling, if you will. You don't want to wish it further south because you don't want to wish it on your friends and neighbors and family who might be living further south. At the same time, if you live in Tampa, you're hoping to not suffer a direct hit. The best thing would be is if the wind shear kind of dissipates this storm as it makes landfall, and it's a less intense storm as it makes landfall and has a downgraded effect on everyone in its path. I know that we're going to be out surveying the damage tomorrow and the next day, and I know that we're going to see some of the more catastrophic effects of this.
Yeah, it'll be really sad, you know, surveying the damage. Hi, Peter. You and yours are safe. Is it true that the inmates in Manatee County Jail are not being evacuated and left there to fend for themselves? I don't know, Belinda. I have not seen anything on that. Will you cover the Giselle Pellicott at all? Good luck with the storm. I don't know what that case is. Let me know what that case is about, Afton. And if anybody else wants it, let me know in the chat. That's how we pick the cases. I get all my news from Twitter and YouTube. Yeah, Julie. I mean, some of it can be dangerous. I get it. Some of it can be dangerous, but I think as long as you go in understanding you've got to vet it a little bit, and then as time goes on, you can see who you trust, and then that can build a lot more trust than what you ever have with mainstream media and other people just saying that this must be how it is. Because I'm trying to remember, John Mayer, in Waiting on the World to Change, he said something like, the people who control the news, because they can bend it all they want or whatever, something like that. Azam said, you're so calm, it makes me nervous. Haha, no. It's like I like to walk around, and some people are like, can you sit down? It makes me nervous. I like to stand up and walk around a lot, use my hands when I talk.
Of this, but right now in Tampa, even though the wind is definitely picking up behind me right now, we haven't seen major tree damage or tree destruction. We've seen some downed limbs, but frankly, there's more debris from down tree limbs that are on the side of the road from Hurricane Helene than we have seen falling from the trees during Hurricane Milton.
Jeff,
So I completely slept through Helene. It was overnight. We had a bunch of huge branches down. Like not even small branches down right now. A lot of my front yard, we got a bunch of big trees. The front yard will probably have some branches down, but way bigger things down during Helene. We'll see if that remains the same.
Get back to, of course, your myriad of responsibilities. Please be safe. Before we do, we like to leave our reporters calling in with any information. Justin, you're looking there at max fender rate
for Tampa, some bubbling going.
The manholes from the storm sewer. And so when the pressure becomes so intense underground, it shoots up. We've actually seen manhole covers in other instances, not today. We've seen manhole covers blow out of, their setting. And so when you're driving around, it's something you really have to be cognizant of to keep an eye out for things like that. It's, why we advise people don't drive out into these conditions, because what we're seeing is the storm debris with wood and nails come out into the road. And then you see these manhole covers kind of lifting up, and it can become a very dangerous situation. The one thing I would ask Justin right now is, when will we see things start to decline? When will we see that we are finally out of the storm here in Tampa?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. What we're following, Jeff, is that eye on the wobble tracker that you're hearing us talk about, and it looks like the storm is going to go somewhere between Sarasota and Bradenton. So the eye wall is going to be battering Tampa for the next several hours here. I think it's really going to take until 9, 10, 11 o'clock, somewhere in that window before things begin to kind of
you can
begin
see a
to
gust
abate
there
in Tampa itself. But you're just starting out with the rain bands and the squall.
So he said 9, 10, 11 o'clock. So we got maybe 5 hours of this, and then hopefully it starts to calm down. I will try to post or whatever I can after that, if I have the ability to do so with power or with service. So just remember those times. Keep praying hard through 11, 12 o'clock into the early morning hours, because we got people all over the world praying for us and checking in on us. So it never has to stop. Malaysia, South Africa, Abu Dhabi, Australia, New Zealand, all over the place. The UK.
Walls that are going to be more persistent, as the strongest portion of the storm will be moving over you, I'd say, in the next 2 hours or so.
Very good.
It's already begun in
Sarasota.
Sarasota.
Out here.
Yeah, it's already begun down to your south. A lot worse.
And guys, look at the latest view frames. Watch that movement.
It's a wobble off to the east. And again, the National Hurricane Center maintaining their forecast track there, which has been working out nicely, I might add.
The National Hurricane Center deserves a moment of just...
All right. That's it. That's going to be our final update here. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. If anybody asks, or you see on social media anybody asking how I'm doing, go ahead and share these videos so they can see the latest update of what we've done. I obviously can't talk to everybody or reach out to everybody. Thank you so much for all the messages and everything. Keep it up. You guys are the best. And let's assess afterwards and keep in touch afterwards. Anybody that's anywhere, that has family or friends anywhere, keep me posted on if there's anything I can do. One last shot behind me, one last shot over here. You can kind of see what we're working with. But you guys are the best. Until next time, who knows when that'll be or what situation we'll be in, but we'll be able to deal with it. I am out of here.
Thanks for watching another episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends who may be interested here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. And don't forget to check out the Lawyer You Know podcast with new seasons dropping every quarter. If you have a case you want to talk to us about, if it's a personal injury case, wrongful death, catastrophic injury, car accident, or slip and fall case, please email us at lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. And of course, all these links I just mentioned are included in the description below on this episode and every episode. So until next time, this is Peter Tragos, the Lawyer You Know.